50 miles away. But when the church there closed, the sanctuary was moved here to Round Rock, where St. Philip's United Methodist adopted the 80-year-old structure.
This has been a long road for us from the very beginning. We've been doing this for quite some time, trying to get a home for ourselves, and I'm just excited it's over.
Today's dedication marked the culmination of 6 months' work. Pastor Gary Malden says it's important because it gives the 3-year-old congregation a sense of permanence.
What's really exciting for us is that we get to continue worshiping in a place that's been a place for Christian worship for nearly a century. And that just adds to the beauty of it.
Inside sits one of the oldest organs in Texas, built in 1840. It, too, needed work. And after months of anticipation, today Ken Mole played it for the first time.
New organs have so much refinement and are so very easy to play, whereas we've lost a part of our history and the fact that the earlier organs were not so pure in sound and took a little bit more imagination on the part of the organist. And it's just the feeling that knowing that you're playing something that probably 20 other people before you have led people in worship.
And there's something beautiful about the thought that this building, which would have been boarded up, has now found a new home, a new hope. In Round Rock, Alan Bird, 24 Act.
Wither on the vine in a way than a decaying, empty old church. Well, this is a story about an old church that was born again. The Turnersville United Methodist Church building is now in Round Rock, north of Austin, about 75 miles south of its original home. The Turnersville Church grew out of a congregation that originated in 1883. It merged with another congregation in 1888 and was known as Harmony Chapel. This building was built in 1910 and served the people of the Turnersville area until the church was officially closed on the 1st of June, 1986. St. Philip's United Methodist Church of Round Rock was organized in the fall of 1983 and met for a while in the Brushy Creek Elementary School and then in an office complex in Brushy Creek. St. Philip's needed a sanctuary. Turnersville was able to provide it.
How are you going to get that bell up in there?
That's what I want to know. How does the bell go in?
We have to rebuild the tower first.
Well, the opening has to be enlarged to get it in there? Or?
No.
Is this all going to be insulated into these walls?
Yeah. We went up and had a look at the church intact and then went back later to see it as it was being prepared to move. And it was at that point that I thought about moving back to Montana and leaving the project behind. It's an involved process of working on an old building and trying to do justice to it. But it's been exciting to have the opportunity to work with quality being the primary consideration, and also to work with a building that was built with that in mind by the congregation in Turnersville.
And it was an opportunity to preserve something of the heritage of our Indian Conference, in particular the Turnersville Church, as well as to give us a place to continue our work here at St. Philip's here in Brushy Creek area of Round Rock. I think as a worship center and as a place for worship for our community in such an area that, as Round Rock is growing and mobile, it lends a sense of permanence and tradition that is important for our community and church.
The organ that came with the Turnersville Church was built south of Boston in the 1840s and was in remarkably good condition.
There are only 2 pipes missing. We hope to have the thing completed in early May, and so far the preliminary reports indicate that we'll have to use no new parts for the instrument. So everything will be a complete restoration.
In all of its 75 years in Turnersville, the doors of this little church were never locked. They opened wide to a new congregation on May 17th, 1987. Members of the old Turnersville congregation were on hand for the occasion. And so was the former pastor of St. Philip's.
What a glorious night this is. And what a glorious experience for me to be back with you and to celebrate with you tonight. I know that you're proud of what has happened here. You have seen a vision, and now that vision is becoming reality. Let us celebrate together.
St. Philip's plans to build a bigger sanctuary in a few years, and this will become its chapel. Reverend Malden says he's already had lots of requests to hold weddings here. The little Turnersville Methodist Church building, which seemed so close to oblivion not so long ago, has a happy future. The spirit of Turnersville has been preserved.
By what name shall these buildings henceforth be known? Shall be called St. Philip's United Methodist Church.